What's up guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we are going to check out the skills of the upcoming 4 jobs in ROX. But before we start the video, if you are a new or a returnee player who wants to play ROX again, you can use my link to download the game in iOS and Android. This link is also shown in the video description below. I've already released my reaction and perspective on the Shura's 4th job skills a few hours ago. For this video, I will now be checking out the 4th job skills for the Imperial Guard and provide my own perspective about each skill. To be honest, I'm really excited about this as well, because a lot of my friends have been talking about the Imperial Guard, and they are hyping up the skills for this class. So without further ado, let's dive right into it, which leads to the sponsor of this video. Do you want to stay online 24/7 in this game, but don't want to use your phone or you don't have a computer to do it? UgPhone has got you covered. UgPhone is a cloud emulator that is perfect for AFK grinding. It is a cloud phone that runs independently in the cloud without consuming the memory or battery of your physical device. Even if you close the UgPhone app, your game will still continue to run in the cloud, which makes this the perfect app for AFK grinding for 24 hours, 7 days a week non-stop. You can also run multiple instances of UgPhone in one account, which allows you to play multiple games or accounts simultaneously. UgPhone is available in Google Play for Android, App Store for iOS, Windows Store for PC, and you can also use a web browser to run UgPhone. If you want to try out UgPhone, you can use my link shown in the description below. Note that when you are playing in the Southeast Asian region, make sure to select the Singapore servers. You can also use my invitation code, which gives you an extra 488 diamonds from UgPhone that you can use to extend your time in using the device. 12 diamonds is equal to an hour of an extension. So the 488 diamonds is an additional 40 hours in using the UgPhone cloud device. So thank you guys, and thank you UgPhone for the sponsor. Now let's get back to the video. Do note as well that I've already read some of the descriptions last night. So this is not really a first time reaction on my part. But anyway, the first 2 skills of the Imperial Guard, which I find very interesting, are the offensive and defensive stance. So when an Imperial Guard is in the offensive stance, they will gain different buffs depending on their build. For the one-handed sword and shield, this build will receive an increase in physical attack, as well as an increase in damage taken. The second part is very interesting, because this build will receive more damage in return. The two-handed sword and spear will only receive an increase in physical attack, and an increase in holy and neutral enhancement respectively. I mean, the latter builds will surely get a boost. However, I'm not really sure about the first build, because you really have to be tanky enough as you will receive more damage in return. For the defensive stance, all of the builds will be getting the same buffs, which increases PvP debuff duration reduction and debuff resistance. At the same time, changing stances have a 10-second cooldown, so this is basically not a spammable skill. For the third active skill, which is Overslash, this skill can only be used when in the offensive stance, and it will teleport the player to the target. For me personally, I think this is a great PvP skill, because since you are a melee class, you can easily reach your target and remove any range advantage. If we look at the next 2 passive skills, these are basically a passive skill for the Overslash active skill, which is made for the two-handed sword build. The Rage Burst grants you a rage stack every time you consume your HP. Each rage stack increases your final crit and crit damage bonus. Do note that whenever a critical hit triggers, it will reduce the cooldown of your sacrifice skill. At the same time, the rage effect will no longer stack up when you change to the defensive stance. For the stance shift passive skill, Whenever your HP falls to a certain percentage, you will automatically change to the defensive stance, and allows your character to recover a certain percentage of your max HP. The effect that is quite unique for this skill is that when you switch to the defensive stance, it gives all of your party members an engagement effect that increases their damage once you change back to the offensive stance. Moving on to the skills for the one-handed sword and shield, we have the shield shooting. This skill is basically a long-range skill similar to the shield boomerang. The main difference is that after using shield shooting and switching to the offensive stance, your shield charge, shield boomerang, and earth drive will receive an increase in the skill coefficient. This is basically a buff for the three main damage dealing skills of the IG. One thing's for sure, this skill needs to be included in the skill rotation for the Imperial Guard because of the additional skill coefficient that it adds. For the shield rebound, this is only applicable during the defensive stance. You will basically activate a shield zone that will absorb the damage for your party within a 4-meter radius. However, this is only applicable for PvP, as this will not absorb the damage from MVP, mini, and boss monsters. Another unique thing about this skill is that when the shield zone ends, you will automatically go back to the offensive stance as you will disperse the energy that you absorbed in a forward-facing direction. Again, this is a great skill in PvP. For the ultimate sacrifice, this is only applicable for the defensive stance as well, and you will consume a certain amount of your max HP to revive fallen members of your party. Now this is really awesome, because not only can you tank for your party, but you can also revive all your fallen members as well. For me personally, I think this is applicable for PvE and PvP, because most of the time, a tank or a support are typically the last standing members in a squad wipe. For the next passive skill, which is the Imperial Force Unity, this allows the IG to ride an Imperial Griffon in combat. Okay, I guess we are getting the same mount for this job. Not unless they change some details about the current Griffon in the game. While in the offensive stance, all builds will receive an X amount of damage against certain races, like the dragon, undead, and formless monsters. The cool thing about this is that the buff that you will get will be shared across all your party members. So having an Imperial Guard in a party is a really big deal now, as it provides great buffs for all the members. In the defensive stance, the Imperial Guard gains an X amount of final physical and magical defense, and this will also be shared across the whole party. For every additional party member, all allies gain 1 stack of Unity. Each stack will increase the shared effect of Vanguard Force. So I guess having a 5-man party will ensure that the shared buffs are maximized at all times. For the remaining 3 skills, these are all for the spear build of the Imperial Guard. The first one is a passive skill, Blessed Force, which changes your weapon attribute to Holy. This is quite nice as you don't need to use a Holy Converter anymore, or you don't have to get buffed by the Aspersia skill of a priest. Basically, this passive skill allows you to stack up Sacred Force while using your other skills. The Sacred Force will then be used by the other skills to increase your damage output, like the Grand Judgment, which will get an additional damage from the stacked Sacred Force. And this also goes for the Cross Rain skill. However, the unique buff for the Cross Rain is that it will grant all party members inside the field an additional boost in damage dealt to MVP and mini monsters. Again, I think moving forward, the Imperial Guard will be a must-have job in any party in the game, regardless if you are doing PvE or PvP. These skills are very solid and useful in any aspect of the game. In my personal opinion, the Imperial Guard will be a meta job moving forward. How about you guys? What are your thoughts on the Imperial Guard skills? Let me know in the comment section below. I'm not yet sure if I can post the other 4 job skills later tonight because I still have a lot of chores to do during my day off. But for sure, I will be posting some of these videos tomorrow. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, and if you want to see more ROX content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. GG!
You're a superhero.